also because you can kind of catch both members in that combo sometimes with the engage. Alistar is available, Mithy has played it, and certainly a priority tank support with Braum off the table and Tahm Kench taken away.
And it gives 2 stacks to Kai'Sa's passive, so you stack the plasma up incredibly quickly.
Ooh, Shen support could be another one that you could look at. That's also obviously a flex pick, could go up top to Haunter, could be played down as a support. Certainly works fairly well in both regards, but it is something that Tahm Kench can definitely deal with and fight up with pretty well.
Makes sense. So again, trying to pick some of these defensive supports to try and protect, especially Sven on a champion like Kai'Sa. Fox now will have to show us the rest of the draft here for game 1, and it's already been pretty spicy. So there's the Poppy lock in. I assume that's towards the top lane, but also can be a jungler.
Can be jungle, yeah.
Yeah, very likely. To me, this says you think Shen is going top. Poppy is very good into Shen and Aurelia. It's honestly good into all of these champions. The Heroic Presence actually can block Aurelia Dash, Shen Taunt, Sejuani Q, and the Kai'Sa ultimate. Most people think of it as a blink. It's actually a very fast kind of dash. So you can actually knock Kai'Sa out of her ultimate with that Heroic Presence. Ooh. So this makes a lot of sense. This is actually a crazy, crazy draft. Very likely going to be Poppy jungle, Cho'Gath top, and you are going to have that Draven, Tahm Kench bottom lane. Dardoch kind of taking a page out of the book of Anda, who absolutely slammed him with this pick into his Lee Sin. This is going to be very, very exciting. The Haunter lock-in for Gnar would make it Shen support as well, so this is kind of establishing where all these lanes will be.
And this means that TSM have a lane up top that should be a winning lane for split push. Their mid lane is a Aurelia into the Ryze. Eventually you get to a point where you can 1v1 the Ryze, but it is a very skill matchup based kind of matchup where the Ryze will have pressure early. And then the bottom lane, I feel like this is the one that I'm looking at very closely because the Tahm Kench nerfs I'm curious about, but also Shen, if you can use the W well against Draven, he's basically all auto attack damage.
Yeah.
He's all basic attack damage, and you can really throw off his kind of internal amount of damage that he's going to do in this trade and make it so that he all-ins too early.
Yeah, definitely the case. And I'm going to be really interested to track how Dardoch plays because I think that Poppy is a game changer against this lineup. When you are playing against 5 champions, you can block any of their dashes. How you use that Heroic Presence becomes ridiculously important. Also, this is such a hard diving teamfight team for TSM. If you can knock multiple members out of the fight with the Poppy ultimate, be able to kind of focus down on the rest of them that are there, that is incredibly strong.
Yeah, I feel like we almost switched like styles of comp for these two teams because I think Echovox's comp is more about what I would have expected from TSM.
Yeah, that's true because the Gnar, the split push, you're thinking that's going to come through for somebody like Huni. No, he's defensive here, and Dardoch is on a very kind of, I would say you can be offensive and tower dive with the Poppy, but it's a champion that doesn't clear the jungle as quick.
All right, well, looks like we're going to get into it. It's time to kick off playoffs.
The hype is building up, man. It's going to be a crazy, crazy series we have on our hands. What a way to kick off the Summer Split playoffs.
With TSM once again being in the quarterfinals, they could risk having the worst year in their organization after having the worst split in terms of performance here. And Echo Fox, they have made playoffs before. This first time that they made it was last split. But this draft coming in the game 1, I'm very curious as to why they went this direction with it in particular. Because like you guys said, it kind of looked like one that TSM would have.
All right, well, we are going to get a quick side on the pot, so let's throw it down to Overly.
Thanks, guys. ThinkCard, coming into this game, Bjergsen said that he thinks that teams should be scared of TSM, but the Draven pick says otherwise. So how's the team feeling coming in?
The team's feeling really confident, especially Lawrence this game. We got Draven into Kai'Sa. It's pretty disrespectful picking the Kai'Sa 1-2 like that. So I'm pretty excited for Lawrence to show off what he can do on this game on the Draven.
Well, best of luck to you in this game. Back to the casters.
Some strong words, disrespectful from Sven. So Lost's going to see if she can put some respect on his name.
I mean, like, I love that call from Captain Flowers that we had earlier where it's like, you think TSM, you think Bjergsen. You think Echo Fox, you think confidence. They've never had an issue with confidence. In fact, confidence
Sometimes too much.
has been their bane sometimes.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens here. The Draven into the Kai'Sa as a counter pick, kind of saying, Kai'Sa wants to stand her ground and get the plasma rotations off, so she needs to be able to have people defend her and be able to just stay in one spot for a long time. And Draven loves that, because he gets to do massive amounts of damage early. And now we'll see how this works out in this matchup, but he's already walking up a bit.
I mean, the relatively short range for Kai'Sa does make it very, very tough to actually trade autos with the Draven. You're not realistically going to be able to do it. So this is going to be a very big point of focus. And again, being able to get those adoration stacks up, being able to cash out can be the difference sometimes between snowballing a game and Draven or falling back.
Yep, definitely excited to see Lost kind of play proactively here, but Sven and Mithy have been very good as a defensive duo. They almost always go even, and when they get ahead, it feels so tough to win, but there's a quick level 2. Smoothie with the tongue lash lands, and now Lost gonna get some poke down.
Yeah, the Tahm Kench became a little bit more offensive. So the nerfs slash, I would say, changes shift in power means he's less defensive, which was kind of his identity. And now he's more tongue lash oriented, get the offensive devours off, and try to make it so that you are a little more lane dominant against other melees. Kind of like how Tahm Kench was on release, where he was all about, oh, you playing Terrican me? I'll just smack him around a bit.
It'll be very interesting, you know, if they can get enough of an advantage with that kind of more aggressive play in lane, it may pay off. But I think if you get to a mid game or a late game stage, you're mostly about the defense. And it's actually them that is forced to use the heal early on.
Yeah, Mithy kind of turned it in there, and now Lost is just going to get the aggression down. There's the exhaust. That's a flash force there out of Sven, and now Mithy has to stand here and try and fight, but topside Dardock looking to dive. Huni, silence, rupture. Oh my god! That stun was some pixel away from killing Haunter.
So close to actually locking him down there. That was ridiculously close, but they do force the flash. They do trade 2 of their own, though, as well.
Now Grig here for a bit of poke damage. That's Dardock now with time on the Krugs. As a TP back from Haunter could be fatal.
I remember they were talking about the criteria of Fox versus Foe and TSM versus FreeSM. Haunter just got dove pre-6 one time. He didn't die, though. So we'll keep an eye on that one there. But Smoothie already mid, keeping Bjergsen down.
It's kind of a classic Smoothie running into the mid lane. There's the Devour. This looks like first blood. Rotations around. Bjergsen's going to try and get out of there, but he's going towards the turret. He's channeling away, and Dardock swoops in for first blood.
Nicely done there, the rotation from Smoothie getting up to the mid lane. When those stacks are up on Bjergsen, he knows he's gone. He decides to hold on the flash.
And this is the type of play that when it was announced that Echo Fox had picked up Smoothie in the middle of the split, they no longer had Adrian, they no longer had Fang. This is the type of play where Smoothie dominates the map, shows up in other places like he was on Cloud9, and pretty much his entire career, he is not somebody who sits around. He makes the game happen, and the proactivity that gets DeMonte ahead is now spilling over.
Yeah, I mean, you can see just how effective the Rune Prison was at setting that up. There was 3 stacks as the Rune Prison was ending there from the Tahm Kench, and then there's no real way out for Bjergsen. So certainly a pretty good, very aggressive start here from Echo Fox. They had to go in the bottom lane, 4 summoners there, try to dive topside. They get a gank mid lane. They are everywhere right now.
Oh, Dardock, what a cancel Arctic Assault. He's going to run to the wall. Bjergsen gonna check that W straight in there.
Quite the steadfast presence from Dardock there. And remember, Sejuani a while ago got a nerf to her Q cooldown. So if you interrupt that, she's basically gonna have to flash or she's dead in these fights, because it's about 14 seconds at rank 1, whereas before, it was a lot lower than that.
Well, here's Huni in the top lane. Down a little on CS. The dive attempt kind of went sideways, so Haunter is able to stick around and continue to be aggressive, especially now that he's back for his second endurance. And we'd be looking for Mithy, but they'll just run back towards the lane.
Lost actually looking to go aggressive on Sven here. He has no flash.
Picking up the axes. Lost is still going. Conqueror proc. Just forcing Sven away.
And this is pulling Grig all around the map. The fact that Haunter lost his flash top lane and had pressure on him, and then mid lane just got ganked, and now the bottom lane, this is a losing matchup for TSM. So Grig kind of has to figure out where he needs to go on this map, because TSM, it's been a classic for them in this split where they don't have multiple winning lanes. Right now, they just have that Gnar, and it was kind of neutralized.
Yeah, and they really have done a very good job of that. And speaking more about the Gnar Cho'Gath matchup, people going more into Comet is pretty lane focused, and you can actually fight very well. You can actually proc that Comet with your Vorpal Spikes E, and Mithy may get powered up here.
Really looking for it, but the range not quite there.
But look at the buy. You know, you talk about Cho'Gath as a champion, you may say, oh, well, that's not really a Huni champion. but he has Double Door and Starksteel as his purchases here. This is very lane focused, very aggressive. In addition to the Comet, he's going to have a lot of damage for this laning phase.
And this means that your 2-on-2 is actually quite good here because you have damage from that Cho'Gath. Huni hits 6 first, and so this is where they're pulling the junglers, so the bottom laners can be left alone, and Echo Fox get to win kind of an unharassed bottom lane and deal damage to that turret, while the 2-on-2s are potentially happening on the top side of the map. So I actually like this strategy of dividing up the map and isolating your automatically winning lane because of the draft.
I think Dardoch, in general, with Echo Fox, has done a good job of kind of cutting up the map. Of course, usually playing too top because that's where Huni does thrive, but it is nice to see them pick aggressively on the bot side and so far look good despite the CS being even.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that they're kind of playing around topside, but it is scaling team fight picks that they are playing around, right? You know, they are this Cho'Gath and the Poppy, and they don't need to get a bunch of kills on the top side to be more effective. Holding even in this Cho'Gath versus a Gnar matchup is very good for you.
Yeah, it's incredibly good for you because he's just going to scale up. Cho'Gath gets all this extra HP, all these stats, and then he gets to the point where all he has to do is CS and sustain off of it. So he's at that point now where it's really hard to push him out of the lane, and then he becomes this big team fighter. And something I was noticing in the bottom side is this Shen from Mithy, he's missed multiple taunts, and he's kind of been checking Lost, and Lost isn't even playing it well yet because the Draven stand aside can interrupt the Shadow Dash, and he's kind of like giving him chances to realize that where he's not getting caught early and getting like basically blasted in the lane by taking tower shots. So if Lost just starts upping his play and realizing, okay, he's going to go for these aggressive ones, he'll just start checking in with stand aside, and then you can't get those taunts off in the mid game.
Yep. You can see Bjergsen has picked up blue buff and also Merc Treads, which pretty timely purchase given what happened to him the last time around in the mid lane, whilst they're also returning to lane. That's BF Sword versus Pickaxe. Doesn't take much to realize that's a bit better.
Yep, he's going to be going for a Stormrazor rush. I have been most frequently seeing things like Stormrazor into rapid fire if you want to go very aggressive. Some people are doing things more survivability along the lines of Stormrazor into BT. So there are definitely some options with Draven, and going to be excited to see how he wants to play it out.
Yeah, I don't think he needs the Bloodthirster as his first item, like you said, because this is a lane where he's not really having a sustained battle at all. So the Stormrazor would make a lot of sense here.
Yeah, I really do like Stormrazor into rapid fire on Draven. That first auto becomes so ridiculously powerful, and you know, there is the option then for Shen, as you talked about earlier, to really use that parry zone very, very well. If you use that Spirit's Refuge to actually block the attacks, as you see here, stopping those crit ones becomes even more important.
How do you do it, man? Like that's like not the caster curse, but that's like the caster blessing. Like, let's talk about this interaction, and there it is.
Thank you very much, Mithy.
Something that I want to touch on here is Sven. The Stormrazor is becoming more and more popular for Kai'Sa.
Oh, wow.
He's not going for that here.
Ulti as well, lost though. Couldn't quite get the last few autos on thanks to Mithy's W.
And to talk a bit about that, I think that is because they drafted double physical damage solo lanes. So they need some form of consistent magic damage. Yes, Sejuani brings some, but that is not enough to force magic resist. And when you're playing against Poppy and Cho'Gath and Tahm Kench, you can't allow them to pure armor stack and get away. So we're going to see Sven do an AP-style Kai'Sa build to give that kind of mixed damage threat.
The Rageblade Nashers into the Death Cap type build here for him as opposed to Stormrazor.
Oh, space check, Damonte.
Keeping him away so that he doesn't check the Drake, because right now it's being soloed by Dardoch. They have bottom lane priority here for Echo Fox.
See if they try this. Both junglers have smite, but Dardoch's actually up a level. There's Green to burn the ulti down. Dardoch getting low, but the Drake goes over. Grig able to steal it. Smoothie though, swooped in to save him. And now Damonte's going to flash out of that Haunter. Finds two on the Gnar wall to the follow-up CC. Smoothie going to be left out to dry as Lost now. Getting chased down by Bjergsen. TSM collapse for 3 kills and the Drake.
They got the Drake too. A massive fight for TSM because Huni had no teleport. There's like 30 seconds left on it. He's not able to get down there because of the mistimings of that spell. So it's an uneven fight.
Yeah, that was a huge play from Haunter with that ultimate, with the TP flying in. And another big deal there is the fact that Lost loses so many of those Adoration stacks. He loses 3/4 of them for that one death, doesn't get the cash out, gets put behind. It's Sven that is actually a kill, 2 assists, and up in farm now off of that, so certainly TSM getting a big win.
Haunter though going to leap over the Rupture, and now Sven actually is TP'd to the top lane to try and force Huni away. He does have Flash, but Haunter still chasing, puts the control ward down. Huni going to just have to cut it out, but I think Sven may have it. They're going to dive in. Haunter flashes forward for the auto. Sven able to collect the last hit.
And the lane swap works out perfectly for him. They caught him with their pants down and said, all right, let's go to the top side. This may still be first turret, though, going over to Echo Fox, because that bottom turret is really low.
This feels like they played a bit too greedy, trying to take 2 objectives on the bot side at once. They already had this turret low. They will get that first turret goal, but TSM able to get the Drake, get some kills, and now start trading.
This has been, kind of an unfortunate trademark, this split for Huni, is that he overextends. He tries to get too much. It felt like Haunter got a win on the bottom side of the map, so he felt he had to push to try to get the turret on the top side. Instead, not only does Haunter get the win on the bottom side, he then dies to him on the top side, and that is just very sloppy play from Huni. He needs to be really careful about this and make sure to continue playing this kind of cold, calculated game.
But like you said, it's kind of been his calling card this whole split. The isolated deaths he has off the charts, I believe, is something like 30 in
20 games,
which is actually, I would say, a bit on the really unacceptable side, because that is a massive amount. Like, people don't even have 30 deaths in a split sometimes. Like, a lot of players go under that mark, and he has that many isolated deaths in 20 games.
Well, watch this sequence again here as TSM do collapse on the Drake.
Good for TSM. Throws out the ultimate, keeps him there, and then it was 34 HP left on the Drake.
Yeah, and the missed ultimate from Dardoch was actually very, very big deal. He's not able to reject anyone out. Monster, as you called out, had the TP and comes in.
And they were able to just clean it up there. And that kill going over to Sven is huge because they got flashes on top of it. And like you said, he lost about 150 adoration stacks off of that. Went back down to 50.
An interesting set of trades though, but as a reminder, 2018 Summer Final tickets are available now. You can join us in Oakland at the Oracle Arena September 8th and 9th. And join us live for what should be a pretty impressive finals.
Also be joining the winner of this, whoever, we don't know whether they'd be in the first place match or third place match, but winners, whoever gets to the semifinals, will be going on.
And you know that Team Liquid and Cloud9 will already be there, so we already have 2.
There you go, that's great value.
Another one.
All right, well, Fox actually did take 2 turrets, interestingly. Cooney able to stay up top and protect this one for a little while longer. Looks like Lost will actually transfer there now that he's finished his Bloodthirster, interestingly.
Was Bloodthirster first, which I guess is the Draven Classic.
I think he died and was like, yeah, I don't know about this Stormwraith.
I guess it's a little more for the team fighting there, because the laning phase did end, but we'll see what he gets second. There's the Rift Herald going down. They want that mid turret. You open up the mid turret, you open up the map.
And there's a lot of TSM members here.
Oh, is this work?
No, he didn't hit her away. No, Shelly.
I think it might have been, but Dardoch unfortunately can't quite land it. Still, they're knocking off away and the wave to get the turret down. So if TSM want the turret, they have to push again.
Yeah, pretty nicely handled from Echo Fox. TSM does get a chunk on that turret, but for a 2v4 defense with Rift Herald being used,
yeah,
it's pretty decent.
It's pretty good. I had that reaction because my favorite thing is seeing the Rift Herald fly away. So I was just heartbroken for a second there. Because you can ultimate her away with the Poppy, and it looks a little goofy, but it works.
And again, playing aggressive, no flash here. Grig ready with the ulti once more. Chilling Smite down, now gonna lock him up. Rupture lands, Huni gets the silence down. He's gonna delay it for as long as he can, but he's gonna get chain stunned there under the turret as Haunter collects kill number 3.
Yeah, I mean, Huni hiding out in that bush, trying to go for a jump on Haunter, but he doesn't even have his ultimate. Yes, you can get a little bit of damage down, but he doesn't know where the jungler is. Goes down, another isolated death for him. At least for Echo Fox, though, Dardoch is pushing here in the mid lane, and they should be able to grab this turret.
Yeah, he dies isolated, but it's kind of what is the rest of the team doing? And if they're actually out on the map and able to pressure, we saw they got both mid and top turret there. So that's 2 turrets for Huni's death. That is a worth in my book. But the thing is did he really have to die?
Exactly, that's the question. And to me, he probably could just be holding the turret, right? He probably could just be sitting back. He doesn't need to make that jump onto Haunter. If he gets dove and survives, and then they get those 2 turrets, sure. But he's kind of just posturing so aggressively, and Haunter is ahead of him right now. He needs to kind of show some respect for that.
Well, despite the 5 kills that TSM have, the 4 turrets for Echo Fox actually keeping them in at the gold lead, if only barely. TSM, of course, looking to answer likely mid-outer, which they did chunk down with the Rift Herald. Also Drake number 2 to fight for in about 30 seconds. But as a reminder, wherever you are watching, spam your chat with either Fox or TSM, and we'll figure out who the fans are cheering for, at least in chat.
And we talked about how like this jungle matchup is one that's going to kind of dictate the way that the game goes. And we're talking about how there's all this gold kind of evening up from the turrets that Echo Fox have, putting them ahead of TSM. Well, you have to look at where that gold is concentrating with TSM. So the turret spreads it out. Dardoch actually has 1,000 gold over Grig, but then the laners, Haunter's 800 up over Huni, and then you also have very close numbers between Bjergsen and Sven, so they're in a good spot, whereas most of that gold lead, that 1,000, is on Dardoch on the Poppy.
Yeah, and TSM has some very strong team fighting here. So if they can actually win a team fight, start collecting those turrets, that lead can explode very, very quickly. We'll see if Echo Fox is going to be able to make some plays of their own, though, as they're heading down towards the Dragon. A lot of people hovering towards that top side of the map for TSM and looking to knock down a turret and perhaps pressure Huni once again.
And you can see he's learned the last 2 isolated deaths to play really far back. Just give up the CS. Don't worry about it.
Oh, he worries about it.
It'll still be there. It'll still be there. I swear the minions don't just disappear.
All right, Haunter with the Black Cleaver finish does actually take TSM's first turret, and they get another one pretty quickly after. But Drake did go over to Echo Fox to equalize on that front.
And we see Demonte like splitting bottom lane, and then TSM are going to the Baron area. But it's only 17 minutes in the game. Baron is not on the field at all, and it's got 3 minutes before it's even going to be up. So warding for it doesn't really help you at this moment, and you're just trying to contain.
Oh, Dardoch, you're so good in this game! Demonte gives a shot there, but Dardoch sets it up.
That was so fast. Just goes right in, flash with the heroic charge, gets him on the tip of the turret, and Sven has no chance to react.
Yeah, really nicely done there from Dardoch. Makes the big play, gets the shutdown, and Echo Fox is pressing a bit here. They have Huni pushing up in the top side, 4 men mid, so they are getting a lot of this map pressure down, and despite the fact that TSM is up 3 kills, Echo Fox still is up gold, and if they can delay TSM from getting some of those turrets, it is going to be a very big deal.
And again, we usually think of Echo Fox as being this aggressive team, but it's usually chasing for picks and team fights and getting kills and then converting. This is really clean, fast pressure on the map, and they're just, I mean, you can tell in the turret difference how good of a job Echo Fox have done of just pressuring every single lane.
Yeah, normally for Echo Fox, it's just have these down and dirty skirmishes.
Yeah, like this.
Oh, he like slid off the box of the turret into the wall. That one.
Ooh, Papio drift.
Yeah. But it's a 1.8 second stun. The Poppy E got buffed a long time ago to go up to 2 seconds and start at like 1.5 or 1.6.
That one's so hard to react to, honestly, for Sven. He comes out of vision, is immediately charging. You have to have like the wild turtle flash out of a bush type reaction to be able to actually stop from getting stunned there. It is possible to flash out of it, and the Poppy still charges to where she was going. But either way, really nicely done there from Dardoch. He certainly has the playmaking ability on this champion. He will continue to throughout all stages of the game on Poppy against this composition. So really, really excited to see how he can perform.
Yeah, and Poppy brings a lot to the team fights too, right? You said you can interrupt all of the dashes that people have with Steadfast Presence, you can lock somebody up with the heroic charge, and then the ultimate, Keeper's Verdict, just keeping people out. If he hits anybody, that's the thing, is you miss it and the fight goes even and very close. You hit it on 1 person, 2 people, you absolutely roll that team fight over.
I mean, if you place it perfectly, you could actually knock Sven out of his ultimate backwards, and he has no way to actually gap close back in, and they're going on to Huni.
Onto another. Actually, Huni's flash got cancelled. Here comes Smithy on the Shen. He's going to ride in with the taunt. Huni looked up under the turret. Abyssal Voyage looks like it got cancelled, and that's Haunter with kill number 4.
Yep, looks like that Voyage canceled. No trip, no vacation to the bottom lane there for Smoothie and Lost, but that was really good. That's using the Shen. That's using the split push. The Shen was picked so that you can go ahead and join Haunter in the side lane, because if they ever play to Huni, it's going to be having reinforcements there. But Huni dies again, Fox are in position to take advantage.
Yeah, and this one I think is much more acceptable for the side of Huni. They expend the Shen ultimate. There are multiple members there, so this is not him jumping forward as much aggressively. Either way, we will get to see this one more time. Huni does step up, Haunter jumping in, so he did actually go fairly aggressive, and that was honestly just a really nicely placed ultimate from Haunter, completely canceling out the distance that Huni would have gained.
Oh.
You hate to see it.
Yep.
Lost also dead. Hate to see that. Sven, though, able to claim that kill. It's through from TSM right into the mid lane.
Yeah, this counter pick is not working outside of the lane here because the Draven, he does have to get up. He has to kind of, you telegraph where you're going to run with the axes dropping. So it's easy taunts, easy taunt flashes there, and he just gets caught.
And honestly, even in the lane, after that fight on the bottom side, he was down farm. Like, it's not like they were slamming them. They didn't kill them. They did have pressure. They did get some turret damage, but not enough, I would say, so far from this pick.
Yeah, the Rage Blade had come through after the first 2 kills there from Sven, which was really kind of the I wouldn't say the nail in the coffin, but what kind of started it all off there. And this is where we'll see Axe knows he's going there, on flash, right on top of it, telegraph position.
But again, why are you up that far? I mean, look at the mini-map right now. There is no one even remotely close to Lost. He had no one around. He did not even have vision to know where the rest of the TSM members were. So even if that taunt flash kill doesn't come through, Grig could have been behind him. Bjergsen could be wrapping around. Like, that is, a very silly spot for him to be sitting in.
Yeah, he kind of had just 2 control wards, 1 in each side of the mid lane, and a lot of people think that's complete safety, but even just the people who are in the lane, 1v2ing like that. ThinkCard said, they're confident. We'll see what he's able to do on it. So far, it's been too confident, again, for Echo Fox.
It's really been a case this season of Lost coming in. He looks so good on the Varus. He has had, I recall, a strong Xayah game, but the laning was not really there. He was able to team fight well. But the tough part about this is, if Varus is your best champ, and every time you have a bad game on another champion, you're reaffirming to other teams to never give you that Varus, and it starts to become this thing where you will never get access to that champion. You have to show power on other champions to be able to open that pick up.
Well, we'll see what Echo Fox can do if we ever get some sort of team fight, because the split push parade is still very much streaming down Main Street. 30 seconds though to the Infernal is up as the Monster gets some poke onto Bjerg.
Well, they're both doing a lot of split pushing here, where Monster's on the bottom side of the map. He's got that turret kind of in his sights. He's dealing damage to it right now with the Blade of the Moon King. And
they're starting Baron.
Huni is on Baron with them. They have the Cho'Gath ultimate. There's the blue trinket. Sejuani will potentially get close. Keeper's Verdict needs to keep him out. Or Smoothie needs to get in there. There it is.
Oh, there we go. Really nice from Dardoch. That's Baron secured there for Echo Fox. Now got to get out before dying to the team fight. Dardoch pops up the W Sven, looking for the poke. Might run in there. There's the ulti. Oh my goodness, I think he got blocked. Now Sven going to try and make it, but Mithy looks for the taunt as Dardoch is able to flash out of the way.
Yeah, the Keeper's Verdict there from knocking out members, and then he had the Heroic Presence actually stopping Sven ulting in, it looked like. So very well done from Echo Fox. They make a decisive call, they commit to the Baron, they do knock it down. TSM will be able to grab themselves an Infernal here, but Echo Fox, making some good moves. Despite not being the win the fight, they are making smart plays around the map.
And I always love this trade of Baron for Infernal, because the Infernal is going to give you those permanent stats. If you're able to stave off this Baron buff, not lose too much, because now, if you look, there's only 1 outer turret remaining at all, and if they can stop this from Echo Fox, TSM are potentially in a better spot because of the Infernal, and that gives you so much in terms of gold value in your inventories.
But you've got to survive that Baron buff for now, and we can see Damonte is pushing on the top side. No one is there to answer him. Just now, Bjergsen is starting to head back, so you have a bottom lane pushing. Minions already stacked up for Echo Fox there. Top lane being pushed in by Ryze, 4 members of Echo Fox mid lane, and they are going to be pressuring across the map.
And we haven't talked about this, but in the draft, TSM do not have wave clear. They don't have good range wave clear that they can access like a control mate. So these turrets, Baron buff is just that much better on Echo Fox.
Dardoch again blocks Mithy from coming in. He's so tanky, and Mithy just evaporates Huni. Maybe skip breakfast because Mithy just gets devoured.
And he is stacking up pretty heavily here now, getting very, very tanky on the Cho'Gath. And turret's going to go down. That should be an inhibitor as well, as Echo Fox can just walk this in. This Baron being so effective.
Yeah, especially against this team with the lack of wave clear that they have.
Here we go.
Now they're out. Party Portal to top lane takes some minions too.
Yeah, big wave actually moving in, but the stun is going to land in from Bjerg, but still not quite enough as Dardoch. We're going to play interrupt duty. The rest of Fox diving into the turret. Dardoch pops his stopwatch. Grig goes down as Lost is finally able to cash in, but Damonte too far forward. Lost flash heal to save his mid laner, but Sven is able to get the kill, and now Lost is disarmed in Aurelia's ulti. The stun in onto Huni, and Echo Fox, it finally comes to haunt them. They overextend, and TSM punish them.
Yeah, they could potentially get chased down. Bjergsen's still looking, but Dardoch, I'm not sure why they decided to try to dive that. The Ryze ultimate up to top lane seemed very intelligent to pressure the turret, but then they are already relatively low on some of their members, and they decide to actually go for the dive. So here it is, Dardoch jumping forward. He's already down 30-40% HP. He's tanking that turret. They do get the 1 kill, but Bjergsen and Sven are very strong on the side.
Oh, and Damonte there. He thought he was going to die, so he just went for the CS. You root yourself when you do the combo, the EQ with Ryze. He got healed from Lost. Damonte would have survived if he had just kept running. And he said, all right, accepted his death, but he was saved.
Yeah, definitely a very kind of messy set of plays, but either way, Echo Fox at least do knock down that inhibitor. They have very good map positioning. They have not had clean fights, but they have had smart movements around the map. They have had good plays, and it's kind of very much felt the opposite of what you expect from Echo Fox, where you expect them to be winning the skirmishes, and when they are winning, it's normally through kills. This is them kind of winning around the map, split pushing intelligently, and
I still expect them to go for those plays, the overplays.
Yeah.
That's still very characteristic of them, but we got to get into TSM's characteristics here, because they love that late game. They love those big team fights at the end, where they're able to kind of play reactively. That was Fox with their hands in the cookie jar. And TSM, that's their favorite position to be in, is where the other team is making the moves, and they just have to react to them and say, oh, we caught you.
Yeah, punishing mistakes is certainly something that they have been very good at. And this is, very interesting for TSM because TSM has been historically the most dominant team in North America by far. 10 straight finals until Spring Split where that was broken. They're again in the quarterfinals here, and they need to be doing well here if they want to get enough championship points to go to Worlds, if they want to be able to have a chance to challenge for that summer final victory. This is a really big deal just for the org of TSM, right? To get back to their dominant ways, to get back to their winning ways, because it feels like for the first time in a long time, a lot of fans have been losing some of the faith in the strength of TSM as an org.
Well, very clean from Smoothie to save Lost as Fox moved back to the top lane to try and finish off that turret. Huni is getting things going there with his TP, and Dardoch's looking to make a play once more. Sees a few too many members of TSM though, so he's out of there. Shellick's mind burned actually just to make sure.
And right now it's just Echo Fox allowing Huni to push out the bottom wave. They kind of have a 7th person or 6th person in the mid lane, shoving that one out. And because Haunter's not here to answer, they're just going to wait and try not to get caught. So it's a 1-3-1 right now for Echo Fox, but this is the position where, like, how do you break the game open from this point, right? If you just hold even here, I actually think TSM are in a better spot because they play defensive, they have defender's advantage in terms of positioning. They don't have easy-to-take turrets available to them, and they really just get to get gold on this Kai'Sa, gold on this Aurelia, scale up a little bit here, and they have that Infernal Drake. So the gold at the top is actually going to buy you a little bit because that Infernal is definitely worth more than just 1,000 gold.
And that's why I think it just, again, comes down to the playmaking from this Poppy, from Huni. Can you get those correct engages? Can you lock down some of these carries from TSM and burst them down? Because, there is a lot of upfront damage that can come out with the Feast, with a Draven crit and a Rise combo, if you get that correct engage, if you get that correct play. So it's going to be tough to pull off, but
there's Kai'Sa. Yeah, Haunter's at it again. Huni now forced to flash away onto the Grom, but there's Mithy for another one to join in the party.
Ignite.
Rupture is there, but Ignite is enough. Mithy slays him.
Sven, he's at that 3-item massive power spike here for the Kai'Sa. The death cap comes in. It's a multiplier on top of your Rage Blade multiplier, and it all goes into your Nashor's Tooth. He shreds Cho'Gath right now, who has no MR. So he's dealing percent HP, magic damage to him, and he's just shredding right through.
Yeah, and it looks like Huni is probably building towards, Randomans or a Deadman's or something, but now he does grab a cowl, realizing he is going to need some of that magic resistance, which will certainly help him out. It's been a bit of a rough road, I'd say, for Huni this split, and honestly, despite the fact that he has had some amazing individual performances in the NALCS in general, because he has never made it past that semifinals. He has won in Korea, he has won in Europe, and he is still searching for that championship in North America. And I think, seeing those top lane results, those first team, second team, third team, him not being in any of those is going to be really tough to swallow for Huni, who is one of the most confident players in the league.
Yeah, this has objectively been Huni's worst split to date. The guy has never played in a quarterfinals match in any playoff, Europe, Korea, or in North America. He's never been in the quarterfinals, and he was always a regular season god. You think back to the 18-0 Fnatic, the 17-1 seasons that he had. It was like this guy dominates in the regular season and then falls off in playoffs sometimes. But here, he didn't even have a dominant regular season.
I mean, he has a career win rate in the regular season approaching 70%. It's like, high 60s, mid 60s.
Disgusting.
Pretty insane.
Certainly so, but looks like Baron is back up, so teams are looking to play around it. Greg there with the ulti finds Huni. Dardoch again trying to block everyone from coming through, but TSM forced away. Great full-man stunned by Bjerg. Keep his verdict out. Gets not into the wall from Aurelia. Mithy's still trying to dive in as Fox. Kite all the way back around, but Sven dives the backline. Looking to take down Demonte, but he goes down. He gets rooted. Huni now zoning off Bjergsen. It's a 4v4, but Lost. He's in the front line. Greg flashes instantly onto him as Demonte is trying to get his friends out to safety. Lost will get there. Smoothie can't quite devour him to get out as well, but Dardoch turns back around and tries to fight Bjergsen though on a rampage, takes down Huni, takes down Dardoch.
Such a close fight there, but TSM come out on top. They stayed around, he's gonna get run down. What a mistake, the Baron is on the map.
That is a massive team fight for TSM. Off the back of Bjergsen, he 3-man stunned, even though he got knocked out. Great stun across them with the E. Great ultimate across the team, too. And that puts TSM in the driver's seat.
Yeah, the Meganar was huge for Poncer as well. The only thing that it felt like kept that fight close was Sven losing vision on Demonte in the Pixel Brush, going down because of that. And TSM will secure the Baron. They get the big team fight win. They have the scaling dragons. they really do feel like they're starting to get into the driver's seat, despite the fact that Echofox is like really one big team fight away from winning this game with inhibitor turrets down. And here it is one more time.
Now it's anybody's game off of one big team fight here. Grig, great Q into the R to hide the animation, starts the engage onto Huni, and Dardoch flashed forward and didn't get anything for it. But a great stun there, a great ultimate, even though Bjergsen gets knocked out with the Keeper's Verdict. And then here, Mithy goes in, spin to the back line. Can't hit Damonte, he loses vision. Perfect, great call on that, Azael, because that's something that is so hard to appreciate from a spectator point of view.
And here's an example, really, of the Tahm Kench nerfs coming through. Like, so long in between Devour for Smoothie, despite the fact that it is kind of in those later stages. Not able to really get back into that Rise ultimate. And then Damonte hanging around after that fight in the bottom lane and dying is pretty unacceptable, I think, at this point in the game.
And great from TSM. I saw a mid fight blue ping from TSM and like, why is this guy still here? Bjergsen knew, certainly exploited it there as TSM. Now they're the ones with the Baron looking to threaten these inhibitors. Their mid inhibs back up, so now in mid lane looking to take Fox's structures away.
Yeah, but Fox have actually put Damonte in the split push in the side lane instead of answering. He's kind of the wave clear that they would use. A little bit Huni, but he's kind of the AoE wave clear. And they have him off on the side lane, not even threatening a turret right now. He just shoved the wave to where the tier 2 used to be. And nobody's answered from TSM. TSM are calling the bluff saying he won't push.
And he doesn't. Good call there from TSM as they'll look to take down yet another tier 2 turret. Make it 6 here in mid lane as that one falls. Haunter goes back to answer this wave.
Yeah, with Haunter showing here, we may see Echofox try to look for some sort of an engage, but I think for the most part, they're going to be happy to just try to wait out the Baron buff, minimize loss as much as possible. Gold is still very close. A good fight can still mean a victory here for Echofox, as the inhibitors are exposed in both mid and top lane. You get a team fight ace, you can march down and maybe end this game. So Echofox trying to wait this out, trying to withstand the tide of TSM, who is going to be split pushing, who is going to be pressing. Kai'Sa has hit late game, Gnar has hit late game, and they have the Baron buff to help them out.
Yeah, it really is. The fact that Echofox made that Rise play to the top lane and it didn't work out when they got that mid inhibitor, it gave TSM so much momentum. Fox had to spend so much time resetting the map, getting back up there, and really it just gave Farm over to spend, hits 3-item power spikes, and they're really now in the driver's seat on TSM side. So, like you've been saying, Azael, win a team fight, you potentially win the game here. If TSM win a team fight, they're closer to Echofox's base. They don't have to make that long run, that big trek down mid lane to actually get to any structures. They can just push for a win. Fox, though, they can push too, because there is no inhibitor turret.
Yeah, portal attempt there from Damonte to try and pick off Bjergsen, but the split continues here for TSM with 40 seconds left on the Baron buff. Smoothie trying to find the pick off. Abyssal Voyage, where is he going? All the way to the back of the bot lane. But now that's the stun in front side on Huni. Turret going down in top lane. Haunter about to transform. Damonte roots him up. But TSM, they now just walk back mid and take the turret.
Yeah, Haunter just walks back to his team. Huni almost gets deleted, and they're going to knock down multiple inhibitor turrets here. They're going to get at least 2 inhibitors. We'll see if TSM will back off after this, but they really have taken a stranglehold on this game, and Echofox's playmaking ability with both the Abyssal Voyage and the Rise ultimate failed. They could not get a kill. They could not get a pick off, so TSM closing in.
Yeah, Fox have to do something like now, because the Elder Dragon's coming up in 45 seconds. They're going to have 2 waves of super minions pushing towards them when those 45 seconds happen. They have to make something happen here, or else they're pretty much ceding the game, ceding pressure over to TSM.
Looks like they will have to give it up. TSM just take the tower. No need to get greedy for the inhib with Baron wearing off. Instead, Haunter hops over, takes the red buff. And again, TSM were in the gold lead at a turret deficit. That is never a good sign for a team.
Yeah, because they were winning all of those early fights. And this is kind of, we see very actively the difference in playstyle and shot calling. Fox said, all right, you gave us an inch, we're going to take a foot. Went to the top lane when they were kind of sieging. TSM, they slowly take the base, and then they even leave up that inhibitor when they could have greeted for it, right? There's enough time before the reset, but now Echofox, they're sooner here to the Dragon.
Yeah, this is very important, but if TSM can delay them, the waves will be pushing in. So Echofox is just going to try to rush this down. They do have the Cho'Gath Feast, and I think they could secure this as Haunter looks like he's just going to go for the base.
Haunter's going to go base.
Trigger's been good all season, but not enough to steal that one. Now they're trying to zone the way there. The Realm Walk gets everybody out, but Haunter TP's in, but can't find an attack.
Very nicely done there from Echofox. Decisive stuff. They get the Elder off the map, and while it's not as powerful of a buff for them, it would have been game-ending had TSM got it. So back to the base, stall it out, clear out these waves, and they're trying desperately to get Lost to an IE, trying to get them to these team fight power, and he just picked it up.
Yep, just got it there, so perhaps Fox can find a fight. I said that TSM didn't seem too greedy taking the extra turret, but it might have cost him that Elder, as TSM still pushing in, looking to take the final in him, but Fox, they want to fight so bad.
This is where they'll be strongest right now relative to what's going on in the game, because they lose this inhib, the pressure's completely on them.
Mooney is just looking like paper, though, getting shredded through anytime he steps forward, and the Warmox is not active yet. They have minions crushing in the mid lane. They don't want to give up this triple inhib.
There, Dardoch finds a stun, looks at Bjergsen, but Bjergsen actually buffing the stun through and was able to get everybody else fed. Takes down Huni in an instant, and now Dardoch's going to be left for dead. Smoothie hops over, there's the Vanguard tag. TSM rushing in there, Sven with a double, Sven with a triple kill, Sven with a quadra kill. TSM in game number 1 will get their Kai'Sa the pentakill. That's it.
Best in the West shows up in game number 1 of this series for TSM.
Goodbye, Nexus. TSM destroy Echo Fox in their base to pick up the first win. It felt like they were playing well, using their map pressure smartly, but the Echo Fox greed catches them again.
And the roar of the crowd there tells you all.